Guys, this is the Don here with Yugioh Gaming Channel, back with my bro here. Placing what? What did you place, bro?
Third
you
place.
Clap people up last week, though?
Third place.
Yo, shit. I see you got this great Brandon out here still clapping people.
Well, it's a very, very fun deck. It's a very easy deck to learn. It takes time, but once you get the combos down, you most likely be able to get what you need. The only thing I lost to was flunderies. Unfortunately, I hate birds, and bird flu. Can't stand that shit. Anyways, but I didn't set up for it, and that was my fault.
Hell yeah.
So you learn from your mistakes, and you just come back stronger. That's how I see it.
All right. What you got for us, bro?
So I'm going to start off with the monster lineup. You know how branded it is. So we're going to start off with Luber. You know, the bread and butter of the deck. Like I said, a lot of people don't know about the secondary effect from the last video, but it's still good. People don't see it until they don't actually use it.
Okay.
But like I said, you get the brain infusion, and then you go from there. And from the brain infusion, you just decide where you want to go from there. So, branded, and then you got Tragedy at Lebanon. I don't understand. This card should be in every deck, regardless if you play it. It's an essential, and it actually comes up quite a lot, where you can still do the Chimera plays with this and get Mira J back. And with this new build, you could turbo out Tragedy with a carrier in here, which I also play. But like, I don't play Dramaturge.
Why not? What is the difference between Dramaturge and this?
It's very situational when it comes to Dramaturge. Dramaturge is it negates a spell, pretty much anything from the extra deck that comes out and negates it. But it's also a 3000 V stick, so it's very optional. I played it quite a few times, and it became cloggy in my hand mostly, versus when I needed it to be used. If anything, if I think of anything that would probably be best for it to be played in, it's probably the Frankfurt package. Because it makes more sense because it's in your hand and polymerization's in your hand at the time you can use it and you can benefit from it. And then my girl, Blazing Cartesia. This is one of my favorite cards to hit the field. You play it on my turn, I can play it on your turn.
You mean y'all turn?
Yeah, pretty much my turn all the time. So it's like my turn. I'm gonna play this and like activate Cartesia, whatever on my field, and go from there. So I love this card. I've thought about buying the Starlight Rare,
But it'll be worth.
My deck is already high enough as is. I don't need to keep burning it out. And let's go with the one of.
The Dark Magician.
The Dark Magician. I've thought about taking this out so many times, and after playing testing it, it doesn't go wrong. You get fusion deployment in it to get a B stick. I've done it quite a few times where I play fusion deployment. I don't have nothing else to play. Oh, you know what? 25 B stick.
For free?
For free. He said it comes out of it. 25 B stick, and you can just run over everything. And then if you're set up, you can set up for the next place as well too. But Dragoon in this deck is the best. If you get a Dragoon on the field and the flunderies, they can't respond to it. A lot of decks can't respond to it. The only deck that probably can respond to it is probably another branded deck. And it makes it difficult for somebody to continue playing if they don't have the essential cards to get there. Then you have the 3 Fallen Alabaz.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, how you feel about that running just the 2? But I guess you is right. That is like the 3.
Yeah, so a lot of people forget that this card's in the graveyard or on the field. It's considered a Fallen Alabaz. It doesn't have the effects of Fallen Alabaz, but you can't go wrong with it because a lot of people go, what is it? Brand Infusion. You could flip this back up. Because if you play Lebellion, you could just, if you have this in the graveyard, which is very rare that it's in the graveyard, you could just use it as a Fallen Alabaz, and you can still make Dragoon with this as well.
Nice.
So it still works off the effect of Yugioh. Fallen Alabast. People play 2. I play 2 because it's more essential for me. People play 3. It's your preference, honestly and truthfully. Running 3 of these, I find it to be a little bit cloggy. You know what I'm saying? But my brain span is not where, oh, let me have this in my hand at all times. I want it in my deck or in my graveyard. Sometimes it comes up when you're in your hand and your opponent has a Dark Knight field, play it, and then you go, oh, activate Fallen Alabast. They stay stuck on it, and then you fish the card, and then you just take their monster and fuse with it. But yeah, that's Fallen Alabast. Next ones. We got Mercurier Kit, which at 1 ounce is really good. If I'm playing the alert package, then I'll be bumping this up to 2. And same thing goes for Tragedy. I'll be bumping it up to 2 because I can benefit from both of them. This card and the fusion that goes with it, with Fallen Alabast, amazing. The negate bounce with no target, can't go wrong with it. Then Kit is just gets you every card that you need. As long as you have a Fallen Alabast fusion on your field, play it, and then you can pull out Branded Fusion, Branded Red Eye, Branded in Red, and then if you still have it, Branded Opening in the graveyard, so you can go from there. And I play a small package of Bystials.
Small.
Yeah.
Super small.
Well, in this format where Cashier is the main deck, there's not a lot for you to target with these for the Cashier, but the combo plays that you do with these allows you to get Branded Lost and basically put it on the field to save yourself. This sends Retribution, or you can send any other, but mostly people, if you don't have Retribution in the graveyard, this helps you get there. And then the combo, you can just banish the dark. If you want, you can send Mercurier. Then you benefit both. So you bring this onto the field. This is in the graveyard. Activate for Mercurier's effect, and then activate Rebellion's effect. Send that to the graveyard. Put this, and then you can send Retribution. And then it's a small package, but it works so good. So I wouldn't change it, but for locals, I was considering bumping it up a little bit. Then for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Nibs. You know.
Yeah.
You know when you don't have cross-out designated.
Yeah, man, yo.
You don't have cross-out designated Ash to cross-out designated an Ash. It works, but this I feel should be played in everybody's deck right now. This burns and hinders a lot. It's not as strong as it used to be, or I like it to be, but it still does its work when you need to. But this right here, people tend to forget that Nib is a thing, and Nib is strong. I would not change it from 3, because in this deck, it's a light fodder too on top of that, so you can't go wrong. If you end up, well, there was one match where I ended up nibbing somebody 3 times in a row. So it has happened, but it had. So that person was not happy with me.
Nice.
So that was the hand traps. Okay. And then I play Essentials. 3 branded openings, branded fusion, branded loss, branded red. Obviously, now this card is becoming very, very essential for the secondary effect to protect your monsters. Branded fusion just means itself, and then if you play this with this and a Mercurier, you pretty much have almost game to lock people out. Branded red, at this point I still keep it at 1. I just don't want to bump it up just yet until, let's see, to the next branded fusions that comes out and synchro.
Okay.
And then I play the 2 traps. Retribution and Banishment. I changed this from Explosion to Banishment because I understood it a little bit better now than I did before.
Yeah.
It allows me to get a Despia card to my hand, and then I could fuse the 2 cards off my opponent's side of the field versus just using my side of the field. So I could use my field, his field, and then have an opening just to attack, or I could just take the 2 monsters he has, fuses them off, and get another monster to put into our deck. Then, I'm not gonna lie, I play 3 Books of Eclipse,
No shit.
Ghost Arc, the only things I don't have hollow yet, and
The card.
Callback. I don't know how many times I drew this in my hand and it saved me for people who are playing Ash. So Ash is, we all know, if you're a branded player, you know Ash hurts the deck a lot.
Yeah.
So, but with this in your hand, it just makes your plays live and keep continuous. Foolish, you already know, is for Tragedy or Mercurier, just to get your plays going. This, I snickered at this Ghost Arc before, and now I love the Ghost Arc in my deck because it's so beneficial. So many times I've actually drew it, and I just won me the game because of it. Book of Eclipse, I'm still on the fence with, but with this format, Casheteras and everywhere, I recommend still playing the Book of Eclipse because it just breaks boards. Doesn't do that much damage to birds, but it does make them think harder.
Yeah, true.
So I'll get those hollows soon. Then I got my MVPs, Fusion Deployment,
Cross
out there.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, Fusion Deployment. Whether you, depending on your build, 2 or 3, this card is never goes bad. It's always live, and it always puts in work. Most of the times, depending on your hand, you're playing for the Cartesia play, which you can't go wrong. It's a poly in its own. Like I said, I have Fusion Deployment for a Dark Magician to keep my plays, to beat over my opponent's field. So good. But the Grand Quar is right here. The Cross Out Designator. And
I see it's coming back in the format like that. It's like that, like that.
oh my god. It's, you can't go wrong. If you're playing in a mirror match and you set up your board essentially, and you have a Cross Out Designator set, you cannot go wrong and stopping your opponent going, oh, I'm gonna activate, I'm gonna play a Looper. Sure, okay. Cross Out Designator, just take out their Looper.
Oh man, hurt their world with that.
Yep. Because then they can't. That means they're looking for the plays or they're trying to bait it out. But I usually play this on a branded fusion.
Yeah.
So it just stops them from going any further than you need to.
Okay.
Adrian knows from the not having ashes in your deck, only running 1. Benefits a lot when you actually run.
Yeah, no, if I even had 1, man, just 1.
But yeah, so Cross Out Designator, it's a powerhouse card in this format. It should be played. Let's go on to the extra. Obviously, I play Nib, neither token. For Despias, I play Masquerade Still and Portis. Portis, it's a good card to get into to switch my opponent's monsters to 0. Masquerade, this right here, if you get this on birds, it hurts them a lot because they have to activate the effect in order to get a board central onto the field. So if you could get this onto the field while they're in the process of doing all their plays, this will hurt them a lot. And they have 1 monster to get over it, but you can still do your plays no matter how you play it. Then we play the 2 newbies.
Yeah, that just came out post-release.
I call this the Dust Dragon, and I call this Rembrandt. This card allows me to play Serenair, or allows me to play Alubian anything that's a level 6. I've actually done plays where I've had to send a Dark Magician to the graveyard in order for me to get my plays to go off. So it's a really good card. I like that it's in play. I wouldn't change this. One I think is good. I see people play 2 of these. I would not play 2 of them. I would actually keep it at 1. Because obviously the extra deck is kind of tight as is, so you don't want to try to overthink things. But once this hits the field, I learned a couple plays off of this that I will not forget playing against somebody. So I recommend playing it at 1 because there's other ways to get it back into your deck. I play this spring program.
How does that spraying feel for you?
I like somebody tried to contact me and paid the price ultimately when when I got it onto the field. They're like, So contact seed, yes, does hurt us if you don't have the right hand. But now with Spriggin in play, it doesn't do as much as everybody wants it to do.
Yeah.
So contact me, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get over it no matter what. I love this card. When it hits the field, protects all my monsters from being destroyed. And then when it gets destroyed, you can get him a carrier if you haven't used it yet. So
that's a plus. That's plusing off of that card.
Yep, no matter what. And then you can send it because it's a Alabasta name, and you just send it with the rest of us with Mary Jade. You get the plus off of that.
Okay.
And then I play 2 Olympian.
Self-explanatory.
Mary Jade.
You ain't playing those numbers. I don't know what you're playing.
I play 2-2-2.
Is there a reason behind that method, the 2-2-2?
Yeah,
is it just what they do?
No, it's not. There's a method to it. It's basically because since Cassateer is a very strong deck in its own, they can banish. If you're only running one of these, they banish it, then you're stuck. You can't get over your plays and stuff like that. I would rather play 1, but with Cassateer running around, I recommend 2. Also, same thing goes for Libellium and Mary Jade. Because if they stop these, you're kind of stuck no matter what you're doing. But yeah, if I could, I would drop this down to 1 and play another card that I have in my deck that I'll show you guys in a few. But yeah, these 2-2-2s right now is where it's at. There's been times where they stop this and I've been able to have a second one and go off and do it again. So just keep that in mind. 2s are where it's at right now. And then now the last 3s. Dracos Postelio, Chimera, and pretty much the MVP of the deck, Dragoon. I love this card since it first came out, and it's very powerful, and I'm kind of glad it's making its comeback now. There's a lot of decks that can't get over Dragoon just by itself without trying to find a way to boost it. And it's hard because obviously you can't target it, and with the Dark Magician package in this deck, you're allowed to pop. So you can pop 1. And if they have a monster on the field, you just pop one of the higher monsters and then go off from there. Obviously, you could play this for Sprite. This does hurt Sprite. And you can't play this deck without Chimera. It's not as strong as it used to be, but when it hits the field, it actually does what it needs to do. So, can't go wrong with pluses and draws. And let's go into the side deck. I'm not gonna lie, I threw my side deck together just because it has some synergy. If I could go back and change it, I would. But for right now, I played 2 superpowers in the side deck. Radiant, this Kaiju.
Man, I already know about him, bro. He hits
the field, and that's it. It just, your opponent has a big monster, you can't figure out.
This is the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. It's
Explosion, baby. But yeah, so Radiant and over a big monster's effect. I mean, a big monster that you think you can get over, like, oh, I got this. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just kaiju,
Yeah.
and then go from there. It makes it really easy for you to go up. And on top of that, it's a dark.
Yeah.
It works perfect with super poly, or if you're playing Fallen Alabast next turn, that you just plus off of that no matter what. But yeah, then I have the puppet. I'm gonna probably be switching it up. The side deck. I'm probably gonna be adding Jinzo into this because Traptrix are Labyrinth, Traptrix.
Yeah.
Once I hit the field, they kind of stuck after that point.
True.
You keep the Jinzo and then you give them Tragedy or something that's going to benefit you in the long run. So that combo can't go wrong. Then I play the simple 3 Imperms, 3 Barriers, and evenly match. So
The go-to cards.
Evenly matches, I don't know, for some reason they're kind of stuck to my hand every time I side them in. I always get them to my hand and I'm always able to do what I need to. D-Barrier, I'm about to probably cut this down to 1 maybe 1 or 2. With the cross-out package, it benefits when I'm playing against my opponent. If I side this in, I can use it for the cross-out.
True.
So my opponent goes Dimensional Barrier, I go cross-out, send a cross barrier to the graveyard, and then go from there. And then I'm allowed to keep my plays alive and go from there. But that, like I said, this was a thrown together side deck. I was not thinking when I built the side deck, but some plays were actually beneficial.
Shit, we enjoyed it, Teddy. Shit, do you got any shout outs for us for this next profile?
Yeah, shout out to Lady D for hosting and Pink Elephant for allowing us to play cards. Big shout out to Rick. He's always been on me to making sure that I do my best and read your cards. And everybody here who supports me, whether they like me or not. I appreciate it. It just fuels me to get better and understand my deck better.
Well, shit, Teddy, thank you for the deck profile, bro, and congrats, my dude.
Thank you.
We'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.